Welcome everyone to Totally Whiskey and Wine. My name is Jason and I'm your host for this Whiskey and Wine podcast where we are going to take a look at some whiskeys, some wines, and possibly some other beverages. So this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to sample these different beverages and then rate them on a scale from 1 to 100 basically. But before we get into that, let's tell you a little bit about how we're going to rate these things. So we've got 4 categories we're going to look at. We're going to look at the nose, the mouthfeel, the flavor, and the finish. Okay. Zach over here, why don't you tell us a little bit about that first one? What are we looking for in the nose?
So when you're looking through the nose of a beverage, you're looking for the aromas that it's going to give off at a distance, as well as when you actually go in to nose the glass, how it smells, are those pleasant, foul, stuff like that.
All right. And James, why don't you tell us a little bit about mouthfeel?
Ooh.
So mouthfeel is going to give things into the how does the beverage sit in your mouth? Is it come up on the front? Is it strong and wet, warm, soft? Those sorts of things.
All right. Next would be flavor is what we're looking at. Zach?
So that's the one we're the most familiar with. How does the beverage actually taste, the notes that it's going to give off, its general impressions, and if it's typical of the beverage or not.
And James, the finish.
The finish. So we want to look at how the drink comes together as a whole for you individually, and then rate that. Of course, we're looking at a 0 to 25 on those.
All right. So speaking of that, each one of these 4 categories, what we're going to do is we are going to blind test these drinks. We are going to secretly score them each on a score of 1 to 25 in each of the 4 categories, add our scores up to get a total of 100, and then we'll average them out to get a final score from all 3 of us. So, what do we know about drinks? Well, to tell you the truth, I know about jack and nothing because I am the host and the novice here. Maybe I've sampled about 10 to 15 whiskeys at most, and probably no more than about the same amount of wines. So I'm really kind of the everyday Joe in this picture. But we got James, who's got a little bit more knowledge than I do. Go ahead.
So I'm James. I have maybe 300 bottles at home and probably 100 different bottles of whiskey I've sampled, so I'm familiar with those. When it comes to wines, it's far less, maybe 20, 25 different wines I've sampled. So, but kind of have an idea of it, yeah.
All right. And Zach?
Oh boy, I'm going to sound like an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
So I have gone through quite a few bottles in my years. I'm an industry professional, so I have sampled well over 800 wines, well over 200 whiskeys. To quantify everything else is just going to sound ridiculous, so just say I've had a bit of everything.
All right. So that is the premise of our show and what you guys can expect to see. We will start out on our very first actual episode with a wonderful bottle of, Masura Jam Seed Pinot Noir.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. I may have mispronounced it, but that's close enough. So that's what we will be starting out with on our very first episode, where you can tune in and we'll talk a little bit about it, how we got to our ratings, what our thoughts were, and then maybe we'll even kind of poke Zach to give us a little bit of history on, like, hey, where's this? What's the region this from? To give us some of that info. But we hope to see you there. Tune in for it and enjoy your drinks.